Okay, hello and welcome to our latest installment of Fellows Friday. I'm joined with fellow John Tracey. He's a sophomore. And if you have any questions for John throughout this interview, be sure to add them in the comments below and we'll get to them at the end, or John will answer them later. Okay, so John, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Well, I'm a sophomore history major, like Jeff said. My minors are in public history and Civil War era studies.
Very nice. And what is your role as a CWI Fellow?
Well, primarily I write for the blog, the Gettysburg Compiler. Last semester I wrote a piece on hats in the Civil War. It's really quite exciting. It's a lot better than it sounds. And this semester I've been looking into doing a couple different researchy things, such as a little discussion on soldiers in the Civil War that aren't firing their weapon, or if they're firing their weapon, not necessarily firing it with intent to kill whoever they should be trying to kill. But other than that, I spent most of last semester working with Gettysburg National Military Park, finding new ways to interpret things that haven't been done before.
Very nice. And as you mentioned, you did a piece about hats. Can you tell us a little bit more about that research or any other research you did with us?
Well, I thought it would be kind of interesting because material culture is sometimes not looked at in the same way as other things. And with hats, especially in the Civil War, it's a very transitional period between really, really gaudy headpieces that you see, especially in Europe during the Napoleonic era. But it's not quite to the point in the late 1800s where the hats are actually very functional. So the Civil War is very much a transitional period for not only hats but uniforms as a whole. But it's where you start to see the transitions from headgear solely to intimidate to headgear that actually serves some kind of purpose effectively.
Very interesting. So what do you enjoy most about being a fellow?
Well, one of the things I enjoy the most is the opportunity to do the research like hats in the Civil War. That's not something I could really write a paper on for a class, but it's simultaneously not quite something I could necessarily make time for otherwise. And so the Fellows Program allows me to do research into something I'm interested in outside of the confines of a class paper.
Very nice, very nice. So here at Gettysburg, are there any other Civil War programs that you're involved with?
Well, I'm an editor for the Journal of the Civil War, along with Jeff. Additionally, I'm the treasurer of the Civil War Club on campus and a member of the 26th Pennsylvania College Guard, which is the Civil War reenacting group on campus.
Very nice. And who is your favorite Civil War figure and why?
Well, instead of taking the general idea of finding somebody famous and sticking with them, what I found, especially as a reenactor, is that a lot of times the really interesting people are the low-ranking individuals, especially if you can't find much about them. While working at Appomattox, I portrayed James Dowler, and there's no letters. We don't have a journal from him. We don't have letters written by him. All we have are his enlistment dates. All you could really piece together from the records is he enlisted. Before he re-enlisted, he had furlough, went home and got married, and after the war, he had a whole lot of kids. And that's all we got. I spent a whole summer digging around in my free time trying to find stuff, and that was it. And in a way, that's almost more interesting than the people that you have entire journals from, people that have 25 books written about them. Because it's very satisfying to find even the smallest piece that you don't know. And so instead of a big name person, I really do find the unknown individuals very interesting.
True man of the people.
True man of the people.
And as you mentioned, you did work at Appomattox Battlefield this summer. You worked there through the Pohanka internship program, isn't that right?
Yes, absolutely.
And you enjoyed your experience?
Oh, it was a fantastic time. It was a great way to gain experience interpreting public history, work with the Park Service, and not have to worry about housing and have a little bit of a stipend to make sure that you can enjoy the experience a little.
Very nice. So as I mentioned at the top of this interview, if you have any questions for John, add them in the comments below. John, I'd like to thank you very much for doing this interview.
Thank you.
And see you all next time on Fellows Friday.